Well, hello, everyone around the world. It's Green Monday. That's right. We're back. It's Veterans Day in the US, but the stock market is still open, and obviously just the bonds are closed. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you're enjoying some of these gains. Hopefully, there's a few crypto bros out there. Are there any crypto bros in the community right now? I think everyone's become a crypto bro over probably the last month and a half, as we have liked it quite a lot. But I thought I'd just start here. Look at this US 2000. Wow. Just nails that 2438 area that we've had for on the charts for a little while. And this brings us to a very interesting point that, of course, we'll be talking about today. As always, guys, we'll cover stocks, commodities, and cryptos throughout the next hour as we break down what exactly we're looking for the week ahead and how much better can this rally get. Yes, Tesla moving heavy in the pre-market. All-time highs coming soon. Very much a potential. And I saw somebody mention before that they supposedly had mortgaged their house or something and put it on Tesla recently. Well, I would not suggest you do that. But yeah, anyway, maybe it's paying off. Just remember that could be a once-off meal deal, if you know what I'm saying. Bitcoin mining stocks, people are saying, I own coin, says Zach. Very good. And we got Zappa saying it's pretty good. Good evening, chicken and chips. Good to see you here. And Igor says, I'm pretty sure everyone had a nice weekend. Oh, well, there'll be some people that obviously haven't got into this, and that's why you're always looking at that kind of FOMO. Okay, Chaz says, bro, I'm up so much on Tesla pre-market, $9,000 on 300 shares. I'm just dying to sell in 30 minutes. Oh, made my whole week already. Yes, well, that's right. And yes, so I have Bitcoin at 18K thanks to you. Oh, Andrew, nice work there. Very good pickup on the Bitcoins. Crypto catching up to the rest of the market. Correct, pretty much. That's right. And he's got 500 shares via WM2. Well, it seems like a lot of you guys are making the right decisions because you've got big brains. But let's go through the kind of broad market here to start off with. We'll give a couple of thoughts. Obviously, we've seen a significant rally from last week as the market digests really pretty much just, let's be real, tax cuts. Obviously, it's all about tax cuts, and particularly it's helping businesses that have crappy financials. Why? Because in 2025 and 2026, we're getting a lot of refinancing. So this is a fairly big deal. And yeah, we know that obviously the Russell 2000 was going to be one of the big winners. Now, here's a question for you guys. Is this enough? Okay, yes, we've hit a resistance that I said, okay, yeah, maybe it'll hit this and then do a little bit of sideways before going up. But really, is this enough? Did anyone watch my weekend video where we discussed the idea? Let's get a chat comment on it as we jump through. So do we think the Russell 2K is going to go higher? Let me know in the chat. Let's go over the US 500. It's moved past 6,000 at this stage, 6,017. So I did do a little bit of a calculation based on previous histories of post-election kind of rips, obviously looking at non-recessionary years, which we have to believe we're in one, and a few other things. And I ended up coming up with 620 something. I think it was 6207. I posted over on X. Hello, everyone that's watching us on X, by the way. Make sure as well, guys, give it a like on the stream. Obviously, we're starting a little earlier here today, so make sure to give it a thumbs up. It does help us to kind of move forward and get a few more viewers through. 6,200 plus, I would say, by the end of the year looks fairly likely by US 500 standards. Some people going 6,300, and many people now upgrading their thought processes for 2025. But I would say for any new viewers, it's going to be the year. 2025 is one of those years that it's going to look great. Everyone's going to be so bullish, so FOMO, so this and that. But that's the year you've got to be most concerned about. Remember, this is all about stacking the odds in your favor. And when everyone's jumping on board, and by the way, I don't think everyone's done just yet, then you need to start worrying about, is this actually the bubble that's going to burst? Remember, when someone says it's a bubble, it's probably not going to blow up. When somebody says it's organic growth and don't worry, the good times keep going, baby, be terrified, okay? Remember the elevator or the old shoe shine, whatever it was, boy, kind of concept, which was basically that if everyone's talking about, including a taxi cab driver, you're probably wanting to be terrified. A few people mentioning MSTR. We'll check that out in a moment. I literally went in on FU on margin and one on a gap up. Just remember, it's a unique circumstance. I don't want you to always be over risking into markets. This is where you tend to get the FOMO, you get greedy, and you make poor decisions. Yes, IWM at 250 by the close of the year. Yeah, I would say there's more in it. And then, of course, in general, we do suspect that IWM will potentially outperform the market based on all the information we've got so far. All right, let's continue. So Russell 2000 hits res into this morning. Although it's hitting resistance, that doesn't mean it has to stop here. If you were in it for a few months, I would say there's more. Few members of the community also believing that. And I would also check out our weekend video to talk about the trajectory. The post-pump, the post-election pump is well known at this stage to be giving very nice gains to particularly small cap businesses. So you've got to remember the Russell probably still has more in it, but it is at a critical little resistance here in the morning. All right, let's move over to the next one. We'll go through a few different pairs here because I do want to cover a couple of things. First up, I want to talk about Bitcoin because, of course, everyone's loving crypto, and rightfully so. We have quite a few different things playing out. The first one is, of course, the giant cup and handle pattern. The second one is the significant rally above 82K. And then, of course, we have the new trajectory. So as you may have seen, I've been talking a little bit about on the show, what's my expectation for Bitcoin? And I would like to know your expectation for Bitcoin. So put it in the chat. What's your expectation? Are you thinking it's going to top off? This is the top. How high will Bitcoin go before it eventually and epically crashes once again? Because we all know that that's the way Bitcoin rolls. It always goes up, booms, then busts. How high do you think Bitcoin will go before we go through that? Ethereum, obviously getting some huge moves on it to the first TP zone we go. I'd like to see it at 3,300. That's for a trader. For an investor that's looking at multi-months, this could just be the beginning of a run. And a few people have asked me, do you think Ethereum is going to make an all-time high? Yeah, I would guess so. I mean, Ethereum, Solana, we saw Cardano. Did you see that move? Woo, Doge and Cardano. Wow. Big moves there over the weekend. I actually had that one on the daily show that we do and ended up getting a nice little bit of news on it. And then, of course, the other one was Doge, which most of you be familiar with by now, absolutely went epically ballistic and up over 50% plus. So some big moves there. Okay, so a few people putting through their calls. We've got 180 from Mitch. It's interesting concepts for sure. We've got Japan Cat saying 125. We've got 90K resistance. So you think it's going to top off there? Wow, it's pretty quick. LL Cool JV 177. Irritated one 120. Cup and handle to 114. Very relevant, I would feel. Dave's going with 100. And Truly Messiah says, Tom loves the Bitcoin. I do love the Bitcoin. We love Bitcoin here. Michael Moss, 120, 90, 100, 85 first sell target, then 100K. It's going to be tough resistance. I think it'll melt it like the butter. It's going to melt it like butter in a microwave for 10 seconds. You know why? Because everyone's going to think it's going to stop before 100 and then it will blitz 100. That's what it's going to do. I really find it hard to believe that 100 is going to be a stopper. Too many people are going to have that as the key resistance. And I just think that it'd be before and then after. But I agree with what you're saying there. 200 from GC Andy and quite a few others. SHIB, what the hell is SHIB doing? Let's have a look here at SHIB. We will go into stocks in a moment. I'm just having a look. SHIB is a bit crappier. SHIB is a bit crappier. I mean, percentage-wise, I'm sure it's still very good. Yeah, it's still 40%, but certainly not as good as last time. Look, you know me. I'm not a big fan of these types of coins. I always say if you get involved in these, it is pump and then it is dump, and I don't really believe in any of the backing, so you've just got to be always aware of that. In terms of price action, obviously, it's changed the trend to the upside and looks good like the rest of crypto does. SHIB coin, Shiba coin, SHIB. Oh, I don't know. This is SHIB. There you go. 100K likes or 100 likes. Thank you very much. 2023 gainer. And that's why he said it's 90. I understand what you're saying. But I don't think 100. I don't think at 100 will be the first hit. It won't find res there. It'll just melt it once it goes through. So Bitcoin is looking good. I'm going to go with 120K is the target for me. Obviously, you've got to make your own decisions, risk reward, all of that type of good stuff, guys. But the main reason I kind of feel like it's getting there is the law of diminishing returns. So if you actually go through Bitcoin, you go through the history of how it's, of course, traded in each particular cycle. Let's say we go back here to the 2020 cycle. By the way, does anyone notice something that I don't think is being mentioned too much about the 2020 cycle? So let's say we look here, we get this. Oh, we can't use that bottom one. 1 second. So we get this 2020 cycle and you get about 400-ish percent. I think if you actually take it from the break of the post-election pump. Does anyone notice about what happens, how fast it moves? You actually get the pump from November here, which is the post-election, all the way up to April. And that tops it somewhere around March and April. I think a lot of people are going to suspect there's more in it. And what I feel like it's going to do is go ballistic. Everyone spread the word, crypto's back. And then we're going to get a massive dump and then probably a secondary pump into probably drop. I think it may look like this. It reminds me of every other crypto kind of season. And it really just depends on whether that becomes the common concept that most retail traders are seeing. And of course, we won't know that until we see how X posts everything, because on X or on YouTube, there are many main crypto kind of channels. Obviously, we're not a main crypto channel. We talk stock predominantly, and we obviously talk about metals and everything around the world. But when we like Bitcoin, we like Bitcoin. We like crypto, of course, right now. But yeah, I think it's going to be like a really heavy pump, maybe get that 90, 95, 98, something like that. Then we'll probably see a little sell-off, and then we'll probably push 100 plus. And I think then it's going to be really the alt season coming through. So remember, alts tend to start up, then they dump, then you tend to see a secondary run where everyone goes through all the crypto markets, and then obviously it all, usually collapses. So I don't think I would trade Bitcoin personally to believe in this rally being the real deal and it's going to 12 months time. I wouldn't say that if everyone's FOMOing and the right candles are there. I don't think you should believe in it as much as other people are going to. Now, I know that's going to get a couple of haters, especially Bitcoin maximalists. There are some things that you can love in Bitcoin. You can love the fact that 80% of the actual coins don't transact. You can love the fact that when the market drops 80%, it doesn't seem to see that any of the big whales actually sell. They're Bitcoin maximalists. They hold it. But there is always a boom and a bust. And you've got to remember that when you're going into a boom period. And never lose sight of that as well. Almost all the crypto charts look identical. That is correct. So you don't really need to look at any of them in particular. You're absolutely right. Malensky says here, still room to all-time high and above for ETH. Yep, that's correct. And Slay at home dad says, Tesla is absolutely stupid. Well, we'll look over at that in a moment. But yeah, just with Bitcoin, it is still going. There's no real end in sight just yet. And I think you've got to remember that. Would you short Bitcoin? I wouldn't personally. Would the chat short Bitcoin? You guys let me know. Would you actually go against this trade right now? I don't think I would. Speaking of going against any trades, look at Tesla go. So we talked about 300 core wall last week. It got smashed, creating a significant positive gamma event. That's then squeezed against the shorters right now. I would still say the same thing I said last week, and I'll say it now. Elon is a huge initial winner, and I'll say initial winner because I don't know how this is going to play exactly, of last week's election. There is no doubt that Elon is a huge winner. He has effectively, who really knows potential for his companies. And I'm sure he'll funnel a lot to his private companies, let's be real. But Tesla is still a huge winner across the board. And for now, anyway, the market is obviously readjusting to the new norm. Now, if you're looking at market capitalization, the most important thing is to always look at the market size versus some of the others. So it's 1 trillion right now. Could it be 1.5 trillion? Yeah, I could see that. Could it be 2 trillion? It's possible. Okay. Doesn't mean it's worth that much, but it can definitely run to those levels. So you've got to remember, could it be 3 trillion? Well, that will have to be seen. I mean, obviously, my personal thought process is I think that Tesla will run up as well as it can until there could be a falling out of large egos. Because remember, in this case, we have two of the world's most powerful people now. We have one on the corporate side and one on the presidential side. So what do you think, guys think? Do you reckon there's going to be a fallout in 2025, or do you think it's going to be good times, keep going? For me, it's long until the cracks start showing. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I might be wrong, and I'm just going to say, you know what, you follow your opinion. You do whatever you need. But in this case, of course, the flow is good. A 363 current target, 380, obviously, the peaks. So is Tesla stupid? No, it's not at all. This is a huge win right now. The markets are loving it. There's a right reason why the markets would love it. I just don't know whether it'll eventuate. We'll have to find out. Is Doge the best alt to hold? Looking to add another coin to my crypto holding, which is currently only Bitcoin. You've made the right choice. Only Bitcoin. See? Technically, that's the right move. Look, Doge is a complete spec fest, gamble fest, like most of the alts. I don't like it. I've traded it a few times. I don't have any faith in it. So therefore, it would make me, let's say I put a lot of money against it, I would probably sweat bullets all day. Like I would be sweating. I would be like, it'd be like having like the plague or something, because I would be just so, I'd probably lose like 10 kilos in 24 hours. And you might know why, ask why, because I'd just freak out. I'd freak out in Doge. Now you might say, well, Tom, that means you got no granite, but you got to remember, if you put, let's say, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands into Doge, could you really do that? Some people can. I couldn't. We've got a donation or a new member coming in here, Safa City. Thank you very much for becoming a new member. By the way, guys, a few people have become new members. Just remember, on YouTube, I love it. Thank you very much for the support. Really appreciate it. And I've heard so many great stories over the last month of your successes. Obviously, I shared a couple of those, and maybe we'll go through them in the stream in a moment. But just remember, if you want to join our private community where we do streams like this, we go through content, we go through our macro each week. We just completed our macro on Sunday evening in the US, which is a great weekly show where I go through more than the daily show and really kind of dissect what I think is going to happen over periods and then talk about the stocks for it. You can do that by scanning that QR code bottom right, or going to fxevolution.com and checking it out. I'm up 150% on Doge. Congratulations. I sold early and need to get back in. Yeah, it sometimes happens. So people agreeing with me, people disagreeing with me in terms of whether we're going to see anything go on with the Tesla move. But yes, that's good. Tom, you're honestly a goat. You helped me so much in my analysis. No worries, man. Been doing it for a while. Obviously, I got in 2007. Most of you guys got in. Well, we always like to ask, when did you get into trading, guys? We've got people here that are way longer than I am. There's a few 1980s and 1990s traders in here. Back on the phone, selling orange juice to people. I don't know how that works. 350, 350, 350, 360, 360, 360. Oh, sold. And it's worth nothing. Sorry about that. That's pretty much how it worked on the phones, I'm pretty sure. You want to buy that? And then they're like, oh, it's in contango. Or they just hang up on you and then it explodes. So we've got people from the early 1980s. We've got people all the way through to 2000 and obviously 24. But generally speaking, I'd say most of you guys are 2020 and 2021. Wayne saying, this year, I'm a newbie. You're doing well, though, Wayne. Coming through. It's good. 2021, COVID. Yeah, it's pretty much where most people came in 2020. I own Tesla. You got to wait until it's long-term capital gains. What else are you going to do? Well, I think there are other stocks you can look at. But yes, for now, Tesla is obviously ramping. It'll get upgrades across the board, and it could very well do nicely into 25. All right, let's move over to a couple of other positions. We will move to gold because gold obviously is suffering a little bit here. One of the best investments of 2024. Don't forget, still one of the best investments, has struggled in recent weeks as we're seeing, of course, the outcomes of the US election. I wouldn't worry too much about gold in terms of hodling it or anything. It's still going to do quite nicely. But you've got to remember at this stage, while it has found buyers at our first bull level and we've pulled back down, I'm looking for it now to find strength. I want it to kind of break this downward trend line here. And if that happens, I feel like gold's back on the move. For now, though, it's certainly struggling. I could see people trying to buy a little bit here and say, you know what, I'm going to buy a scale position for my longer term position. But yeah, nothing much going through on gold just yet. There's no flows coming through, no excitement. I do believe it'll eventually hit it. You can see here GDX, which is gold stocks, struggling a bit today, but still inside of that upward channel. Yeah, so still on the upward channel. Vince says, I just joined last week. Should I be notified of members only videos? It depends. Did you join on our website or did you join on YouTube? If you joined on YouTube, YouTube's more of a supporter tier. I appreciate it. I had to change it. Obviously, it does say that in the description because Google is a little bit weird. And we have to now, we host all of our private streams over on our website. And the reason we do that is to avoid random bots. Okay. I hate bots. Always report the nasty bots in the comments, guys, because some people get scammed and it sucks. I bought Tesla at $26 and I sold 1% at 300. You sold 1%. Well, why would you be worried about selling a little bit at 300, Dylan? It's fun. Tom, is it okay to DCA into BTC and ETH? You've got to make your own risk decisions, but obviously we've seen the stats and we know that if Bitcoin follows a similar path to the other elections, then you technically are on a run. Will it be cheaper than 82K in the future? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, you can't guarantee that. So if you're DCAing in or you're scaling in and you've got a medium-term plan to longer-term plan, there's usually nothing too wrong with it. Just remember, I did check out Bitcoin. It is a very decent Sharpe ratio, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have epic volatility. So Bitcoin's actually pretty good on the Sharpe, very good actually. However, it's not great on a lot of people's psychology because it can drop 20%, bang, bang, gone, and it's gone and it's just finished. Yeah, so you have to always be open to the idea of 20, 30% drops within hours due to illiquidity or something else. Though, as we've now seen ETFs come in, that's less likely now that Wall Street's kind of sniffing around. Okay, so we've got gold. We found that that's at an interesting level, but not really activated towards a super strong thing. Silver, similar thing, kind of just floating around one of my key levels, but not finding that momentum just yet. We've got US 500 at resistance. We've got US 2K at resistance. These are technically resistances, but I'm not worried about them. If you're holding for a few weeks into months, I wouldn't worry at all. There's not even a sign that it's going to find resistance yet. I'm just telling you that these are technical resistances. But Tesla in the middle of nowhere going towards the bull run. That's obviously the story of the morning. And then we've got oil doing its little shorty short, which I suspected it might have done. Obviously, I said, go either way. I'm more on the bear end. There were signs in here towards replicatable bear sells, but I actually think it's not that easy. So, drill, baby, drill, or whatever it's going to be. This has got to be the most confusing asset class for me right now. What do you guys think? Is oil bullish over the next 3 months or bearish? Give me your thoughts. Bullish or bearish? I want a 3-month call here, though. Wahinu says, I've been following you for months and finally joined your master's group. I can gladly say I haven't lost a cent since joining. Then again, the market hasn't opened yet. I like the comment. Welcome. Thank you, man. Yeah, that is funny. Well, if you... That's pretty good. Oil has too many global interests. That's right. Bearish on oil, bear on oil. ABB says, yeah, it's very difficult here. Oil seems to not been hit by inflation. Well, the thing with oil is that you actually can just keep taking it out of the ground. They've got a lot of capacity to pull it out. The supply and the demand it's always been a cartel. And the thing is, now that the US is pretty much self-sufficient already, prior to the election it was anyway, and it will be again, we're going to see the potential of the drill, baby, drill concept, which is a thing. And if that does happen, then we could see a collapse in oil price as it's a race to the bottom. Yeah, it's an interesting time. This is a very confusing pair for me. Oil is neither its supply demands. Yep. I am not sure on what this one's going to do. It might take decades, but oil is going to zero. Oh, I don't know about that. Rich Buddy, $5. Tesla daily chart is a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. The T, check it out. Good. So, okay, let's have a look. Wyckoff accumulation pattern. You're talking about this entire base structure, yeah? So basically the idea, and I've seen this floated a few times because I do want to go into some hypergrowth stocks because, of course, we're starting to see them come through. Anyone see my post on RK? Yeah, I would agree. Thank you for the $5. In terms of the overall basing pattern is pretty strong. It's not quite the Wyckoff I would usually look for. Generally speaking, Wyckoffs tend to have more aggressive sell destroyers near the end. But it is an overall, pullback in time, sideways type position. Funnily enough, Tesla's been horrendous since 2021. So it's actually been pretty bad investment for quite some time now. And if it really gets powered up, again, I could see this becoming a $2 trillion company, and that's doubling from here, 340 to 700. I just worry about one thing, and that is that you've got the world's most powerful business person with the world's most powerful man. Is that right? So we just see how that plays through. What's happening with China Stim? Will it kill the iron ore seasonal bull run? Says Trish. No, I don't think so. We'll see. We'll play that one out, Trish, soon. Still need to start restocking the strategic oil reserves. The oil hedge is against the world peace. And oil to zero is not going to happen. Many polymers are extracted from it. Hi, Tom. Missed the start, but what's your view on pullback on indices given the big, huge gaps? Look, I guess you can always go back and have a look at history post-elections and then say, well, did we even get pullbacks back? And the answer is no. We actually didn't. So if you have a look here, this is the move on the Russell so far. This is the move that happened on the Russell. Was there a pullback? It was just rip, dead. Okay. So the market pretty much just went all the way to the top and then died. And if we go back to 2016 and we pull a November period, it was rip, dead. Okay. So I guess you've kind of got to expect it rips into a pullback in time, which is a sideways style market. So yeah, it's not actually what you would think in terms of the way that you'd usually get a traditional pullback. This, because it's a tax cut based move, or at least a rollover of tax cuts, I feel like Wall Street can price it, and that is the issue. I mean, are we at resistance? Yes. But if you went off the last two periods, you considered that this is basically a tax cut, the type of seasonal, the type of time, the type of bullishness and the animal spirits in this market and the money on the sidelines and the money to be made into the end of the year, specifically around the bonuses. It does kind of lend itself to maybe we just keep going for a bit here. And that can be frustrating. I mean, the way you get into these types of moves, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, is you use usually a moving average of some kind, and you find a replicable kind of pullback zone. So maybe that's the 2 hour 20. Maybe it's another one. You could have a look. But yeah, generally speaking, you're wanting to use anchored VWAPs and moving averages quite a lot. 2025 is going to be interesting. Will China wake up? Well, to me, China's already done very, very nicely so far this year, with obviously a pullback recently. And I would say they will continue with some strength. Now, I do know I want to do a couple of single stocks. So we're going to start off here with Intel because I've been asked to do a couple of single stocks. Intel Corp, people were asking, what do you think about this? I'm still bullish on Intel as a trade, not as an investment. And you can see here, it's in the middle of nowhere land. Now, would I enter here? No, personally, I wouldn't. And the reason why is because if you're in the right price for a trade, it makes sense. And if you're in the wrong price for a trade, it doesn't. Because you've got to get that risk reward correct. And in this case, it's just not really correct. So I would say that there's a good chance that you'll get into that kind of 30, 29 bracket in the future. And it could keep rallying up, but it's not quite there. What might be a little bit better is, funnily enough, Hypergrowth. And it's up more than I thought it would be this morning. So there you go, 4.23%. So that's not too bad. So this was actually an excellent Friday buy, in my opinion. This is RK. I'm not a fan of necessarily RK, as you guys know. They just recently sold Tesla. Ooh. Is Kathy Wood one of the worst investors of the last 3 years? What do you guys think? I mean, I shouldn't call shade on it. She's way richer than I am. But the thing is, I've got to say, ever since that IPO stuff that she was buying, I just couldn't get behind it at all. And that was lucky because it went really crap. But this is a sign of companies that don't make any money, that had bad finances, that do have growth, that need to refinance, are starting to move through. So you've got to start looking at that 2021 basket, yeah? And the reason you want to look at the 2021 basket is because it's starting to move. We're going into Goldilocks, the last third of a larger move on the markets. The fact that everyone's now bullish all of a sudden, we're getting those animal spirits coming back in. RK breaking out on the weekly, pretty strong stuff. Racing Lab says sold Tesla just like I did. And then Marcelo says, oh, she's back, man. There we go. Optimism on geopolitical tension under Trump, lower oil. Sure, that could be part of it, but I think it's a few things here. Tom, are you saving me from FOMOing into crypto and Tesla? Should I stick to the Google and Amazon? Are they still undervalued or good for the upside? Look, Google is still good. I mean, they're all good companies. Amazon and Google are still very nice, and there's nothing really wrong with them. It depends what kind of gain you want. If you want nice, consistent gains, then generally you would use a Mag 7 style position. Either Amazon or Google are not bad choices in the current climates that we've got. Obviously, Bezos kind of hedged his bets coming into this election and may benefit from that under the new administration. You can see here the breakout is quite significant. Consumer discretionary as well has been pumping. So if you look at consumer discretionary here, it's been rallying pretty hard. So for now, I guess there is strength in that particular thing. I say don't change your plans. Like, everyone goes and FOMOs into stuff. And I can't, look, you can't say, if you've been watching this channel for a while, and thank you also to the almost 1,300 people that are watching us here live today through the many platforms that we're on. Make sure to give it a like, thumbs up, whatever you do on X to make the stream kind of do better. That would be much appreciated. But yeah, you don't want to go chase everybody. Look, in September, we talked about crypto, especially the back end of September. We talked about Bitcoin. And I said, look, I think Bitcoin's going into a very good seasonal. And again, my belief was whether it was Dems or Republicans, I still thought it was going up. I wasn't going to make any changes. It was fine by me. In the end, of course, the more pro crypto kind of trade ended up playing out. So, that was really made in September. And Russell 2000 is a very similar position. Right now, we're looking at strange companies that are 2021 loss kind of stocks. And what you'll notice if you start popping through those, whether it's a Roku, I'm not saying Roku is a good stock, but, whether it's a Roku or it's anything else, they're all starting to show pretty good technical analysis. You've got a nice Wyckoff style low base here. You've got a breakout. You've got a really big wipe that happened just before the election off this supposedly good earnings that went bad. And then, of course, you've got to rally back up. Now, if you look at like a Shop, which has already been doing very nicely, you can see here Shop is trying to break on the upside. You might say, well, they're gone. Well, they obviously went way more ballistic in the past. But this is pretty good technicals. I mean, this is a very nice switch here. We had a couple of good trades in Shop over the last year. And again, in August, how much is it up off that August low? That's pretty much where it started rallying. It's about 23%. May seem like a lot, but in a stock like this, which is quite risky, there could still be more to go. So yeah, I think that like these hypergrowth stocks, they're starting to look pretty good. Even the genomic kind of stocks here, which were all 2021 stocks. I mean, what do you guys think of this base? What do you think about this base, chat? You like this? We'll read a couple of comments while we wait. Queen and MSTR are up like 10% this morning again. Yes, correct. Andrew says Kathy is worse than Wall Street bets. Hey, I like Wall Street bets. It's funny to read the memes. Though I wouldn't follow those mad options traders on there. Trump will flood the market. It will cut the funding in the Middle Eastern countries, aka Iran. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm still down more than 40% from the last FOMO. Yeah, this is a good. Well, thank you, Frank, for sharing. because, of course, FOMO is not good. So make sure you don't want to FOMO in things. I guess I missed the crypto part. You've already covered crypto a fair bit here. Tom, thanks very much. You are the savior. You're the best human being and mentor. Well, I wouldn't say I'm the best human being. I mean, anyone that says that's probably being false, yeah? But I like to think that we do share some good information. And obviously, I do share quite a lot of stuff. I made money on gold this year. Well done, Wahinu. A lot of people did. Gold to 3,000. I haven't stopped with that. We're going to go with the new mantra. We got crappy Russell. We got crappy Bitcoin to 120. And then we've got gold to 3K. Yeah. And we've got the S&P 500 to 6,800. Why not? Why can't we say that? Is the SP 600 better than the SP 500? I would think it could be based on the split differential. In fact, let me show you. Okay. But anyway, what do you think about this CRISPR? Let me see what this is. Kind of looks like a bottom of sorts. Tom, you are the best just for being able to pronounce all these names. Oh, I'm sure I'm getting them wrong. Just follow Jim Cramer. I heard he's a boss. I like it how everyone puts it as Kramer. You know how you know? You know how you know? What has this person watched? What do you think this person, what TV show has this person watched? What do you think? Anyone know? Powerhouse Mac? What do you reckon? Let's see if anyone can guess. You can always tell. I always know when I see this. Someone's going to put it in. Seinfeld, yeah. No on Chris, look at the 5-year chart. Yeah, I know, it's crap. Why would I want to look at the 5-year chart, though? I'm not about the 5 years. We're about the here and the now. Let's have a look. What is a 5-year chart? I'm going to go with a month just so you can get the idea. So this is obviously the comment. So basically, you look at how much it's got crushed and you look at the basing, yeah? But you've got to remember, it's about, CRISP is just one of the better genomic resequencing stocks, and it broke out. I don't care what it is. It's broken out. It's breaking out. It looks pretty decent, and it's a decent base. Now, if you go to XBI, you can see here XBI, which is biotech, is breaking out. Are these speculative? Yes. Do you need to consider your risks? Yeah, you really should be doing that. But at the same time, technicals are technicals, and you've got to leave your opinion at the side. Now, you'll notice I put up XBI last week, and this was before, again, 2 weeks ago, actually. This was before the US election. And I was like, it looks pretty good. In fact, I'll give a shout out to one of the private members of our group, which is Oren. And Oren's just been sitting there harassing me about XBI. You hear, Oren? You in the chat? He just says, Tom, every day you got to look at the XBI. And about 2 weeks ago, I said, yes, Oren. I said, hell yeah, man. And look, is it up much? It's up 7.29. You could say, well, that's not that great. Well, still better than the S&P. And it's only maybe getting started, so that's good. Kramer is the great confluence factor. Do the opposite. Yes, we need to get rid of that. And Powerhouse says, yes, I watch Seinfeld. Exactly. Tom, do you think we're squeezing on Tesla or a really sustainable move? I think it's a mixture of both. Look, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I always be real with you guys. I know it's not popular opinion. I call Bitcoin, Bitcoin book Bitcoin and crap alts and Doge is dog shit, basically. But anyway, they could still make money for you. Don't worry about that. But yes, I will say that my major concern with Tesla, and this is my opinion, and therefore you can't always say this gives edge, is I always say that if you have powerful people, they have egos, yeah? And I worry, based on previous history, okay, don't get at me, anyone, that there could be a little bit of a falling out in 2025. So I think it's Tesla long until that happens. And then look, just follow the TA. The TA is going to tell you it anyway. So that's how I see it. And that's my concern. But am I concerned right now? Hell no. It's the, what is it? The honeymoon. We're in the honeymoon. The honeymoon where memes and pictures of people dancing and stuff happen. So, yeah. Lois L says, hi, Tom. What's your thoughts on semiconductors? I think it's underperforming, but not sure what the outlook is. Yeah, I mean, it's underperforming for now because it's had the big gains. So obviously right now, the gains are happening in weird crap stocks because it's all about finance now. Can we get the finance on the things that have been doing so poorly. We're playing catch up. Now, I said I'd show the chart, so let's have a look here. Now, this is the one that I always like to get a little bit of an update for. And as you can see here, we've got the Russell 2000. Well, we've got the mid caps and the small caps and stuff, effectively the Russell 2K as well. They're trading at around kind of the median. All right. They're trading right on pretty much average. Now, if you look at the S&P, it's trading at 22, which is historically getting up there. Obviously, we've got here the tech boom. We've got here the bust of 2021. The Mag 7, not quite at the epic highs yet of 38. So obviously not quite an AI wonderland of boom power. But this is very rare. I mean, in my entire trading career up until 2020, I never saw this. And what I mean by that is I've never seen the small caps, as you can see here, trade at the multiples disconnected from the main market. Okay, so you've got the S&P 500, and I'm always be a big believer by the big quality. And why? Because I believe in capitalism. They eat them all. They eat all the small companies and indulge themselves on it, which is, of course, why these ones are out in front, because they've been buying all of the small ones over the years and making companies that are bigger than entire countries' GDPs. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that we do have a huge differential factor. And if reversion to the mean or reversion to the norm is anything, you would have to think that it is currently probably between 4 and 6 PE undervalued. Elon is now regulating his own companies. Unreal. Yeah, I don't know how that's all going to work. But anyway, yep, that's right. Lois says, thanks, no worries. Very good. Does self-driving EVs make full stops at stop signs? I don't know. In Australia, I had I used the Elon Tesla, and I tried to use the auto drive, and I swear to God, it tried to kill me. Okay. Now, in the US, I've seen it being used efficiently. It didn't know about the fork. Okay. And oh my goodness, it was terrifying. Anyway, that was my experience with it. And I remember my wife said, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. I said, all right, fair enough. You know, it was a bit crazy, but in the US, I believe it works. Oh, you're Aussie too? Yeah. We're anyone that's up trading the US markets that's Australian is a bro in my book. Why? Because it takes real guts to trade the US market from Australia. 11:08 p.m. and it hasn't even opened yet. We're still like 1 hour or 2 hours before. FSD doesn't work in Toronto traffic. It works in America, though, I've heard. Tom, the bond market is closed. Why do we see changes in yield on treasuries? Well, it's an ETF of bonds, so I'm assuming it's maybe moving off that. I don't know. Does it really matter? Queensland, bro, here. Yeah, we love Queensland. Very good. 10:08 in the north, Tom. Well, yeah. WA is okay as well. 4 a.m. in California. Can't sleep because Tesla is printing. I saw that, Rich, buddy. Are you going to buy another Patek, Rich? Yeah, I know. You're going to get a Patek or a 911? Okay, you tell me which one. Patek or 911? SA is nice too. It's about half an hour, isn't it? Thoughts on SoFi and PLTR? Yeah, all right, let's go through some stocks. So first up, we'll go SoFi. It's been a pretty decent basing stock, absolutely blitzing it at the moment. My position still stands that if you kept holding it or scaled back a little bit here, then you should be looking at this completion. So we're still looking for $14+, and it's on an epic run at this stage. This is another one of those companies here. And obviously, we're looking at these arcade style innovation companies that are running. So SoFi, a 2021 stock, broken out, nice move. It's going at the stage, and obviously it's rallying pretty damn hard. PLTR. Now, this one's an interesting one. Obviously, it continues to rally here. It's a bit of a winner off the US election, so it's kind of winning in terms of making money before it and winning now. So would I hate on this stock or go against it? I certainly wouldn't. What I would warn, though, is it's starting to get very large candle. So when you get a candle this big, That's a big candle, guys. That's a 42% weekly candle. Ooh, I'm scared. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean I sell because it can keep going, but that is a big one. Okay. That is a kahuna. Okay. This ain't crypto. So is PLTR on the boomtown? Yes. Would I enter that? Not with a 10-foot barge pole. Okay. No. No. Would I exit? Probably not. I gotta ride that baby home, but it is really far away from its 20 moving average on the weekly, and it is up 42%. So it's squeezing the rubbish out of shorters. So you don't go against it. You ride that thing, and if you're lucky enough to be in it, you can praise whatever because it's pretty damn sweet. But I would not be entering into that unless I was using unlevered funds doing some weird trade that was stop lost, and I still probably wouldn't do it. It's worth 133 billion at the moment. I have absolutely no idea what the ceiling is for this company. Maybe someone in the chat can tell us and we'll share. But at this stage, yes, it's boomtown, but I would not go with that. Crazy how I got PLTR sub 10 and sold at 45. Don't worry about it. Selling at 45 is a solid sell. And you might say, well, look at this. I could have got more. It's fine. You move on, and you went in this situation ahead of the election. Maybe you didn't know what was going to do. So I think that's absolutely fine. This to me, though, doesn't look like organic growth. That looks like an absolute epic squeeze. PE ratio is crazy on PLTR. It's 2021 again. Well, that's what we're talking about here today. Give me some 2021 stocks that actually have good bases, guys. Let's share a couple here. Let's share some 2021 stocks. How about Luna and RKLB in Wall Street Bets meme stocks? Well, I hate the meme stocks because they have absolutely no base, but Rocket Labs, now that's a 2021 stock. Whoa, it's already going. Look at it go. Well, I mean, if it's on, you're going to kind of like 16. Square, yeah, Square had a setup. We covered this on the show just a few weeks ago. So Square obviously bought an Australian company for too much money. It's got an amazing base on it. I got to say, like, I love this base. I have absolutely no idea what this company is really worth anymore. But Big John, new member in our private community, he came out and he found this. And I said, thank you, Big John. Thank you, Big John. If you're out there right now, Big John, because you found this one. I didn't find this one and I had to buy it. So thank you very much, sir. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting base. Obviously, you could class it as an inverse head and shoulders. I always like to use proof. It does look kind of early still, but the company is not really an industry that I love. It's just what it is. I mean, Afterpay kind of sucks in my opinion, but anyway. Proof's pretty well too. Actually, I like that 140 proof. There you go. It's not too bad. It's one that's not maybe gone as strong as you would think, considering. PayPal looks primed. Yeah, so these are all these. I can't remember what the hell the code is there. PYPL. Yep, so that broke out a little while ago. Again, looks kind of similar. Breached the downward trend line. Actually rallied off that July when we were talking about together. And we've seen pretty good gains. It's not really at a target that I would have set yet. I would be going for a 90 or something like that. Does PayPal count? It pumped like crazy during COVID and online purchase increases. Yeah, they count, but it's a very competitive industry, and I'm assuming margins got slammed. Big John, yes, that's right. Lulu looks to really be creating a nice position. Well, I heard they sell $150 yoga pants. Anyone here bought the $150 yoga pants for their wife, girlfriend, partner? Maybe you bought it for yourself, for our 12% female audience. Shout out to you girls out there, women. They're probably better traded than most of the guys in the chat. Let's be real. I'll say this about guys. We make the best traders and investors and the absolute worst, okay? That's how it is. The best and the absolute worst. And if I had to break us down as guys, I would say that we are 2/3 terrible, okay? I'm sorry, guys. Whereas women are more consistent, but they don't. But then the leverage rant doesn't tend to come out. Oh yes, in Australian terms, shielders. Yeah. Lulu, we've got here 310 base. Obviously, already started a while ago. This actually was a bit of a rally off the dump. I like this rally, and it's been doing okay in the consumer discretionary. $150 joggers are insane. Is that good insane or bad insane? Kathy Wood bought them. Yeah, probably. Yes, they look amazing. Look at this. People buying these $150 pants. I must admit, let me have a look at these $150 pants. 1 billion boom in China pants. Okay. Why? They look the same as the other ones. All right. I don't know. I'm confused. Remember BurgerFi? No. I remember there was that what was that crap company? Oh, they were kind of crap. It's fake meat. What was the fake meat company, guys, for 2021? I just want to write fake meat, but I know it's not fake meat. I know YouTubers were loving it. They were like, wow, this is the next coming of wow, it's the best. And it had like no moat and it sucked. Beyond Meat. That's right. BYND. Is that it? This thing sucks. And it still sucks. This sucks. Okay. It's crap. And this is exactly why you don't invest in low or crap moats. Okay. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. $5. What a disgraceful look at it. Disgraceful, terrible thing. I'm just going to show you how bad things get, just so you remember. Oh my goodness. How high did it go? Okay. Well, we could have bought, some poor person is holding bags on this thing at $240. And now they will never get their money back. There was another one as well. I just want to go to another one. This one here. Oh, I remember I also traded this one and almost got held. I almost held the bags on this stock. I remember I traded it in here. I'm not going to say I did, and I did. I traded it in here. We went bullish. Oh, and it didn't. It stopped out. Oh, $9. No moat, guys. What's another one? Zoom. Now, that had a pretty good setup on the other day. ZM. Let's have a look at Zoom. Is Zoom doing? Yeah, Zoom's good. Yeah. I think Zoom's based off. Oh, that's good. Look at it go. Another nice Wyckoff base. So there's a lot of Wyckoff bases on these strange 2021 stocks. Some of them are trash. Some of them are recovering. And I think that's kind of the story. Remember, if you missed it, we were talking about Arcade just before. And while I don't really love this fund or anything, although it is a smattering of these types of stocks, although they might sell one of the stocks before it fully realizes, as we know with Tesla, this has broken out last week. So I think it's a key kind of inflection point here for these small caps, and it's something that, hey, if you missed other moves, you can go and have a little bit of a sniff round and see what you're doing through these stocks, guys. If mad cow disease is beyond meat, if we get mad cow disease, Beyond Meat is going to rocket. Well, if you would like to invest, it's got no moat, man. It'll just be some other beyond mad cow disease. Lulu is actually decent quality wear. Okay. My wife has Lulu, but I don't know about this 150. Maybe she's bought them. I have no idea. I know she's bought them, but I don't know if she's buying $300 pairs of pants, probably. T-Doc used to be Kathy Wood's favorite. Yes, I remember. It was a 2021 stock. Everyone liked it. Piton. Oh, that's trash too. But Piton at least is better than T-Doc. Look at it go. It's up. Actually changed trend towards the upside too. Fairly significant break here in October. So it's been a little while. They've already been going for a little bit, these things. But yeah, Piton, with the crypto gains, people are going to buy Pitons. Damn, imagine if you shorted that piece of trash. Well, imagine if you just bought Bitcoin at 18K a little while ago. It's doing better than Beyond. Everything's doing better than Beyond. Crypto miners, good hold through the year. I don't like crypto miners, but they will go up because of crypto itself. Now look at CoinGo. Oh, 16%. Hot damn. Look at it go. Beautiful inverse head and shoulders. What an entry. This thing here is technical bliss. Okay. This is an absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. That's a day trading. I'm going to plug it. Day trading masterclass special, guys. It's a special with a special K. This is amazing. I love it. I love great technicals. If anyone watched our stream onto the US presidential election day, it became pretty clear the market was setting the bull. But ultimately, this one here was set before any of it happened. Beautiful moves, though. Yeah. Look, 313. I mean, again, it's smashed that 260, 270 area. You've got to think about this 350, 400 kind of bracket now on this. Neo. Oh, Neo. I'm a big fan of the Neo. Nah, not at the moment. All right, let's move over. Speaking of Neo to HSI, a lot of people asking me what's my opinion on China. My opinion is really this: Do I think they've turned it around? Yes. Why? Because of government and stim. Will the government stim keep coming? Yes. When they start going, will they keep going? Yes. Will they just keep plugging it? Yes. Can they afford to do it? Yes. Will they go bankrupt as a country? No. There we go. We've answered the Chinese kind of macro story pretty much there. Now, will the tariffs hit it? Yeah, but they've been making it more self-sufficient. Again, I think tariffs may not actually be implemented. It might be just all a game of cat and mouse. But ultimately, look, is this the worst price for Chinese stocks? Not really. It's okay. Do I think they can go lower? I think this is possibility. 19.5, 19,000. But I think overall it's still in the bullish thing. So yeah, that's my opinion on China, really, guys. It's not really changed. I warned you above up here to be not FOMOing. The big ass candles told me plus resistance. I was pretty strong on that. I also said that when I was on television, remember I said this actually during our live seminars. It was a really great case study of human psychology. So you can check it out. I went on television at around this time and they asked me, they said, Tom, can we talk about HSI? Can we talk about the Chinese market first? And I said, really? I said, why would you ask me that? And I always know why. It's because if I've got a chart that completely disagrees with everybody and everyone's FOMOing something or everyone's selling something, then they always want it first. And why is that? Because this is going completely against the norm. And when I heard that, I went, oh, I know it's going to top off now. Because obviously it was on pretty weak stim. We've since seen a bit of action, but just remember there will be more. Once they start, they tend to do it. And I would say that where the worst of the Chinese market is most likely behind them. Sadly, I lost my K-Web last jump. 60% tariff is what I'm hearing at work. Yes. But remember, many US businesses are going to be using this to screw over employees. Okay. So, what they're going to do, this is what I think they're doing anyway. You tell me if I'm right or wrong, people in the US. Number one, you guys get nice Christmas bonuses. Not this year, guys. Why? Oh, we're preparing for the tariffs. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to buy some goods with your Christmas bonuses. Sorry about that, and whether they believe it or not. And we're going to need to recycle all the money through here. Plus, we're going to sack all the people that we think are lazy. So that's just my opinion. But I would say that would be 101 business technique 101 in preparation of the tariffs. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to lose their beautiful Christmas bonuses. That sucks. Please do Airbnb. We'll check that out at the moment. Sounds about right. Yeah. Airbnb, let's check it out. That's already happening? Yes, that makes sense. I'm not in America, so I don't know. Airbnb, oh, that's a horrible candle. Oh, that's nasty. I don't like this at all. But I'm going to mark this higher, just in case. At this stage, not a fan. Not a fan of that. Oh, it's earnings that did it. What the? This business has kind of sucked for quite a while, frankly. It is an IPO, but which means I'd never like it. Should be turning because it's been what 2 years now, 2 3 years, yeah. Hmm. Solar stocks going to zero. I don't think you can touch solar stocks in the current regime as it is. It's just not possible. Not yet. Barber, please. I'll have a look at Barber. Why does everyone want to buy Barber all the time? Why can't we be buying other quality Chinese stocks and not Barber? Look, I like the base. I said that over here. It's pulled back, obviously. It's got earnings this week. So we do need to remind ourselves that earnings, make sure to get your earnings calendar out, something like that or whatever. So, yeah, earnings for Barber on Friday. Do I like the stock? I think it's okay. I think in general, this is obviously the same pullback that you're seeing in the rest of the market. It's not the strongest Chinese stock, though. If you want to look at Xiaomi or, even Tencent or something, it's much better looking. Is it too late for small caps? No, but it just depends on your time frame. So, with small caps, you've got to say you're looking at it for multiple weeks into months. I've already done the trajectory of small caps, and I would say that at this stage, small caps are, 6 forward PE behind fair value. So if we're 6 forward PE behind fair value, that gives us pretty decent upside, somewhere in the vicinity of 20 to 30% over a 12 to 18 month target. So yeah, there's still gains. I don't necessarily guarantee any of this, of course. I'm just doing like what would make sense if we're going to see the market continue its animal spirits. Shop, we checked it out before, looked pretty good. Let's take a look at AMD. It's been a terrible stock. Let's have a look and see if it's improving. Now, I did go on television and say this sucked the other day, so we'll see. Look, it's not cheap. It's actually pretty bad fundamentally. If you guys want me to, during these Monday sessions, I'm happy to read out the forward PE averages and valuation expectations as well. So this is, again, take it with a grain of salt. It's just based on metrics. I'm not going and doing the full blown fundamentals in them. But if you want me to give you forward PE 5-year averages on stocks, I can do it for quite a few of these. Tariffs seem bad for Nike. You would think so. Yeah. Tom did TV. Cool. Yeah, I've done TV for quite a few years here in Australia. I'm curious on what you think about other things. Tom, how about BYD Shark plug-in hybrids? No, not for me. I'm not getting into the seal, the shark, the walrus, the whale lord EX. I just don't feel like being in the whale lord EX. No, I'm done with EVs for now. And you might say, what the hell? I'm going back to giant off-road trucks. Not as big as American ones. Australian version of giant off-road trucks. So yeah, forward PE doesn't look too good on AMD at the moment. Price action wise, I just can't see something that makes me excited. You've got this downward trend line, you bust underneath it. It just doesn't have that nice momentum flow. We'll update if we see it though, because I know AMD is a popular stock in the US. I've had a couple of Teslas. Yeah. Let's have a look at some trash stocks. SMCI. 4.5% down. Theoretically, in a crazy world out there, it actually gave a potential scalp signal buy. It is a very speculative, obviously terrible stock, but this one here is interesting from the perspective of, can it actually have just found the low and will it get a little bit of mean reversion? What do you guys think? Is SMCI a little bit terrifying? I mean, technically it should break pretty much above 28 to really give it some juice. But you're only looking for something like 35 from it. Long-term silver target, just under 50, yeah. Hilux or Ranger? No, I'm just going to get some Land Rover thing with the snorkel. Tom's middle name is V8. Yeah, I like V8s. So far to 15 seems the more likely movement at the moment. Sea battles. Hood, we like Hood. Hood has been a great stock. One of my favorite spec stocks of the year, really, so far. Up 4. Oh, I'm almost done. Yes. Okay, thank you very much for making me look at this line atlas. Wow, I only have an alert for 34 bucks. Damn, dude. It really has been a pretty crazy 2 weeks or week, it seems. Yeah, this is obviously a beneficent. It's benefiting from crypto and of course just the general 2021 style stocks. This is a beautiful one though. You can see why I liked it. Yeah, beautiful base, great break, nasty stupid August sell, but anyway, it recovered that pretty quickly. Really great earnings, couple of good earnings stories out there as well from it. Just shows you practice great TA and great flow and great data. Remember that what we do, guys, what I found to work the best is you gain edge through using a mixture of things. Okay, you use technical analysis. Okay, that's going to give you your flow, your volume kind of move. Then you want to use your data. You want to always try to approach having a slightly non-biased approach to things by finding stuff. You want to find the big, stupid, Wall Street, lobster eating, stealing pricks. And you need to find them. And then we go in. Okay. Once we've found those 3 combo meal deals, then we're feeling pretty good. Thank you for looking at Hood. But Hood is probably almost done for the initial move. Scary stonk. Yeah, SMCI is terrifying. Falling knife, SMCI. That is correct. It is falling knife, but I still say that I have like a way of approaching a falling knife. And let's just say it's a replicable pattern on it. Tom Deere V8 is his ride. My dad does have a big tractor. Just drive that around the streets. Crowd is trying to fill the gap and reject. Oh, yeah, crowd. It'll be an interesting one. Let's take a look at that. Crowd obviously getting dumped a little while ago and then making a nice recovery as well. You can see some of my analysis there. Yeah, I mean it's doing pretty good. It's a nice series of higher highs and higher lows. Another one in this similar kind of vein is crowd flare. Actually, that's not too bad. Cloudflare doing worse than you would suspect. I feel like that's not bad either, technically. Nice breach of the high, coming back down. Good stock. Tom looked at coin earlier. I certainly did. MSTU up 23. MSTU, what is this? Triple leveraged Bitcoin trash thing. What is this? 2 times long MSTR. Oh, my brain. I don't like this, but whatever. Why do we have to long MSTR when we could just long Bitcoin? I guess it's because of the crazy gains. Anyway, you guys just like the big levers. 2x leveraging MSTR. Was it Sailor will be happy with you? Look, obviously it's in a strong trend. We had the pullback in time. We're moving strong. You can see here the initial target, actually the nail of that level. But yeah, as Bitcoin goes stronger, it's pretty good. Roman says, wow, just noticed you went head to head with Mark Morland. Yeah, I actually didn't know who Mark was, but he seemed fine. He seemed to know his stuff, I must admit. Thank you, Roman. He did know his stuff. Rumble. Check Rumble. Has Rumble been going well post Trump? Not as well as I guess most people would expect. Yeah, Rumble may struggle. I could see why people aren't buying it. It's because Trump has X, or at least X is partially it. Then, of course, you've got on top of that idea of making all of the social media's free speech concept plans. I don't know. I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but yeah. Rumble, not really great on the TA yet. Alerts, you'd want to set probably above here because see how it keeps rejecting this 650 zone. I think that's pretty important. I'll set a little alert there, the Rumble. Tom, can you have a look at Square? We did before. We quite liked what we saw. Well, I've already liked it for a while. MS Mara is pretty solid breakout. Obviously, a very strong move here today. Island reversal, nice strength, good base, pretty good. Derek says people don't understand the convertible notes on MSTR. They are leverage bet upside and double leverage bet on the downside. It could be a story, Derek, for the days. Can you imagine how many people are going to lose their shirts on these types of things in the future? I'm telling you guys, if you're not subbed, sub now. Now. Do it, guys. You know why you've got to do it? And sign up to the newsletter because I will be posting more in the future. I know I've been slack, but I pop them out. Now, the reason is because 2025 is pivotal for all of us. I'm telling you. You got to do an advanced masterclass. If you don't, you will not know what's coming for you. But 2025, we're in the sugar rush. Everyone's feeling fantastic. 2025, you have to understand. 2026, you may need to be terrified. All right. Remember, there are so many things going against 2026. It's not funny, and not just midterms. And that's already a terrible statistic by itself, let alone the rest. So you've got to remember this is sugar rushy. People want GameStop today, do they? I don't like this stock. I'm sorry. I don't like this stock. There we go. I'll tell it to you how it is. It's crap, and you just got to buy it in the points that you want to. I'm embarrassed I only bought 30 shares. Don't worry, man. You just buy whatever you can, and you just keep going. Abundance mindset, consistency, keep going with it, yeah? Let's Get Rich says, I have one more video left in the masterclass plus mentoring, and then you get to watch 50 hours of me rambling about stuff. Now you'll enjoy it. Let's Get Rich. Great to have you here, man. 2026 will be a major catastrophe. It certainly could be. We're obviously looking for the signs. We constantly upgrade our metrics in terms of what we're looking for. You need about 7 to 10 good separated reasons before anything goes bad. It's kind of like people said to me, oh, Tom, you said 50 basis points might be the Fed freaking out. And then you said, oh, no, it's bullish the next day. And the reason I said that is because I don't have any other reasons to be bearish on the market. So therefore, 50 basis points would only be just getting the differential between the inflation number, which is, by the way, coming out this week, and where the Fed is. And they usually are not that far apart. So it's really just bringing that down. Tom, did you do snow? I didn't. Let's have a look here. This could be a comment on MSTR. Maybe someone will want to look at. Snow, look, it's a decent little base. It's not exactly exceptional. The overall structure is obviously quite decent as well. I'm looking really to get catalysts above 135 for this stock. I don't think it has the best balance sheet as far as I understand. So, yeah, it's just really about momentum play here. And at this stage, I mean, you wouldn't be bearish it, but you do want at least a weekly 20 close plus. With Trump's plan for BTC, I believe it will soar. No idea. I don't really know if any plans that politicians say regardless come through. Remember, just go with what you know. And what you know is that post-election, we've had strong gains in Bitcoin. We do know that we've got the law of diminishing returns. We do know it tends to feed upon itself. We do know that it tends to run into like a March of next year. Maybe it's going to be faster this time. Markets are getting faster out there. And basically, this is a green light for risk on at this stage. But don't spec too much on your hopes and dreams of people doing certain things because that can go badly. Remember, try to replicate as much as you can. ZS. Oh, yeah, I like ZS, Zscaler. Yes, dude. Not bad, actually. Yeah, I like that. ZS is pretty solid structure. Love the turn, like that a lot. I already had this one set. I'll put another alert there so we can alert. Yeah, I think ZS is pretty good. All right, let's do a recap here, guys. Thank you for the donations today and the thousands of people that have come through already. I very much appreciate your time. And I do appreciate that. We'll just do a Moderna to have a look. Oh, no, trash still. Trash, 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 trash. And you'll notice that anything to do with vaccines, probably RFK, to be real. Yeah, it's all dumping across the board. As a user, Zscaler sucks. There we go. Morning, BK. Thank you very much. Thank you, Financial Conspirator. Well, Zscaler seems to have a pretty nice base, so we'll see whether that thing can get the run here. Oracle, sure, let's have a quick look at Oracle, and then we'll do a recap. ORCL, whoa, on the bull. My goodness. If you're on that puppy, then you keep running it. I wouldn't enter back in. What's it worth now? It's amazing, actually. I always would have thought Oracle would be worth more market cap, considering its price rises over the years. But yeah, it's mooning. It obviously loves the weekly 20. Was mooning before the election, and it continues to moon now. So well done. Is it Larry somebody? Is he still the man? Larry Nielsen or whatever his name is? WBT on that WBT wall WBT on the ASX. I'll do it for you quickly here. This Australian stock actually looks pretty strong. What is this? Semis. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent breakout there, man. What's another one? Wall, what was it? WBA. I want to have a look at this quickly. It's a bit of a crap stock, but I'm looking for it to base off soon. Okay, it's still around there, so I'm going to set alert up here. Okay, we'll just wait for that. All right, so guys, let's kind of recap this. We've got Russell hitting our target level that we literally set a while ago, and it smashed into it. Will it stop here? Look, I don't know that. I mean, statistically, you've still got more to go on the US 2K into the end of the year, and especially over the next 3 months. If we look at 2016, 2020, the rallies unfortunately did not get pullbacks for people that missed it. So you may need to consider that. Obviously, take your own risks. Bitcoin hits 82K plus, an absolute rip of a move. I would like to think anyone's been watching the channel has made their own decision and obviously been consistent with the approach that we applied. Remember, it was a September bullishness into October, November, December bullishness. Now we've got post-election rip on top of that. And of course, we've got ETF flows increasing. Will there be crashes along the way? Yes, there always is in Bitcoin. But yeah, this is one of the most bullish technical periods for it. And obviously there's speculation about what Trump may do and this and that. And I don't know, people are going to get into all sorts of things. The general markets themselves are all quite bullish here this morning. I don't think you really want to be a FOMOer, but at the same time, there are different opportunities. And I think the big story last week was really the rise of crap stocks. So obviously the RKs and the hypergrowth started to improve. And we saw the same thing in XBI with biotechs also improving here across the board. So really it's that 2021, cheaper money style playbook that's starting to come a little bit back. And the reason is just because really the way the market's looking at it is probably this may be the top of the US 10Y due to this beautiful downward trend. I personally think in 2025, we may see reinflation. And speaking of which, let's go over here and have a look at this week. We've got, of course, a few bits of news. The big notables are CPI on Wednesday. Again, would I worry about these too much? Not really. One read's not going to do much. PPI, obviously, Thursday. Then we've got Fed Chair Powell annoying us at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And then we have down here, this is all New York time, by the way. And then we've got core retail sales on Friday. So my thought process is at the moment, it's all green, all good. The rallies and the percentages look really nice. There are opportunities in several different markets, including potentially gold, small caps, even Chinese stocks. You never know in the future. We haven't seen Chinese stocks find momentum. Gold needs to find momentum around this point right now. And yeah, it's crypto all day at this morning, and Tesla, which obviously is currently squeezing the living bejeebies out of people. This is in positive gamma, and we know positive gamma rips people's heads off. So that's where we're at. SMH is trailing, yeah, but you've got to put in perspective of where has SMH been in comparison to things. So if you put a combo over SMH versus IWM, you will notice that actually IWM has been performing, or semiconductors have been performing kind of poorly since pretty much around July. But up until that point, which is the beginning of this new bull market, come on, look at that. So is there more gains in semiconductors? Yes. Did we buy semis in August? Yes. Have they done all right? Sure. Well, we just bought NVDA, but that's a semi. And I just think it's the time for Russell to start to really get back in. So I'd say like people like Tom Lee that have been calling it all year or year and a half, they're probably going to be mostly correct at this point. All right, guys, if you want to find out more about what we do here at FX Evolution, jump on over to the website, fxevolution.com. Watch the daily show, subscribe. You have a fantastic day, guys. A fantastic start of the week. I'd love to see quite a few of you in the private shows that we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the opens and closes. And I got to say, I hope you're doing well, because these markets certainly did give some opportunities. And if you missed them, don't worry about it, guys. There's always another one. And remember, 2025, 2026 could be the most pivotal point for millennials and for Zoomers in their entire lives. And I'm not just saying that. Now, you might say, well, what about me? I'm Gen X, man. Or I'm a baby boomer. Yeah, it's pivotal for you too, but you've already seen a nice epic crash before. So, will the reckoning come? Well, let's see how big the sugar rush is first. All right. Catch everybody. Private shows sounds kinky. It's not kinky, Kevin. It's just great TA. All right. You have a fantastic day. Good luck to this week. Bye for now.